What's going on, yo? I'm here to talk about the super in-depth changes and buffs I've made for Komala. Not only the type change and the stat tweaks, but most importantly, the way that the abilities now interact with all sorts of new move buffs and changes in this ROM hack. So before I get into explaining the basics of why I chose these things, how they function, all that fun stuff, which is all really important. I recommend if you're new here, you pause the video, read the description. I've got a bullet point list explaining all of the basics about the ROM hack that'll answer a lot of your questions that you might have. And then you can also, when you're done with the video, don't click off yet, but when you're done with the video, you can check out the move guide right here. I've got every single move organized into categories, super easy to understand, and it's definitely really important to understanding just how the game plays, right? Because moves are literally the backbone of the entire ROM hack. So with all that being said, normal grass, Komala, I don't think I need to explain too much why that makes sense. I'm sure there'll be tons of people arguing, oh, well, the wood isn't actually part of the Pokemon, it shouldn't be grass type, blah, blah, blah. And your opinion is valid, but in a ROM hack where I try to differentiate Pokemon from one another, there's already 10 pure normal types that I have to balance around each other and give them all 3 unique ability slots that are like unique over one another. So adding an 11th one on top of that isn't very great. So if I can give it a dual type, that makes like enough. I mean, obviously, like, I really do try to be logical with my type changes. I really do put a lot of thought into them. I don't like just throwing on stupid shit just for the hell of it. But I think this is still fine. It definitely makes sense, right? I don't need to explain it too much. So ability slot wise, flavor wise, I chose Unburden because I think Pokemon with like objects, like as part of the design, like Farfetch'd, Komala, I don't know, there's more, I just can't think of them right now. Even Delibird, although I didn't actually give Delibird Unburden, I didn't give it Slush Rush, but you get the point. Pokemon like that fit Unburden because their whole thing is like having an item, so if they lost that item, they would be super fast. Um, so I think it's kind of cute little flavor ability there, and obviously very good mechanically. And then Unaware is a good choice just because he's like asleep all the time. He doesn't fucking know what's going on around him, right? Excuse me, especially in a ROM hack where the AI will often have like strong setup moves, or like AI only moves that boost their stats. So like if you pause the video here, click this link, pause right here, like all these moves, you're ignoring all these moves, for example, which is really useful, let alone like actual setup moves, sword stance, all that crap. So yeah, Unaware is a good ability to switch to because every Pokemon in this game is designed to be switching between its abilities at all times. Um, so Unaware is a great defensive option that you could definitely take advantage of. You also have lots of great defensive tools like Wish and Branch Leech and Stockpile and Dreamy Kiss and Baton Pass and U-Turn and Charm and all this good stuff. But yeah, the main thing here is offensively you have Comatose and Unburden. So Comatose is heavily reworked, also stat-wise, by the way. Just some overall bulk improvements. I mean, I think him having a high physical defense to match the physical attack because of the log. I think he could use the log to like defend himself. So I think his phys def being high makes sense. And then speed is dropped purely just because he has Unburden, so it's like kind of useless. It's kind of wasted points to have 65 because 60 or even 55 speed outspeeds the entire game with Unburden anyways. And also flavor-wise, I don't think he needs to be that fast anyways. And then special attack slightly decreased, but I still kept it good, like solid usable, because I do like Snore. I think it's definitely like a decent option, especially with Scarf, like just Scarf, Comatose, Snore. That's another reason I dropped the speed, by the way, is because otherwise it's a little bit overpowered. So 60 base speed is pretty reasonable with Scarf. You're hitting, if you're getting a neutral speed Komala, you're hitting 312. So you can essentially just anything with like 90, I believe, 90. Jesus Christ, can I type this in, please? Yeah, anything with like 92 or below speed, you outspeed with Choice Scarf, and you can flinch them down guaranteed with Snore. And that's like literally any Pokemon with below 92 speed, you can 1v1 with Snore. Because no way it takes you more than like 5 Snores to kill something that doesn't resist it, right? Because it still has 50 or 60 base power. Is it 50 or 60 now? I think it's 50 again. 55, okay. Yeah, you can just Snore to death. So that's really good. But the main thing with Comatose is Sleep Talk and Last Resort are both heavily reworked. So Sleep Talk, essentially, so outside of the Snore, which is also really cool. And also Comatose has the other advantage of like making you immune to status, which is cool, but it's not like the biggest thing in the world. It's definitely useful because the AI will occasionally have like sleep moves or burn moves or paralysis inflicting moves just to disrupt you. So it is nice to be immune to be able to switch in for free, but it's not like the key point of the ability, right? The key point is being able to use Sleep Talk. So Sleep Talk is heavily reworked to essentially be a priority 2 PP move. So with rest, this essentially means you can rest and then get 2 turns of Sleep Talk and get 2 priority moves, which is a really cool strategy for any Pokemon to abuse. Keep in mind there's no Lapidberry, by the way. Lapidberry is not obtainable because there are tons of decreased PP moves in this game. But yeah, Sleep Talk, that gives you priority on any move, not even last resort, just any move in the entire game. You get 2 PP. But the thing is, you have to use the move deleter to delete your moves, and so you're only using those 2 moves. So it's almost like the way I envision it is Comatose essentially gives you 2 quick claws per match, because quick claw is now a single-use consumable. Speaking of, that's really good for Unburden. Because it allows you to get off very easy and quick and safe Unburden trigger, because you can KO something in front of you with a quick claw and then get the Unburden boost and kill the next thing and the next thing and whatever. Because you have so much coverage and you have a good attack stat, you can definitely tech on some stuff there. Defensively, this thing's also really cool, which I'll cover a bit more later, but I already kind of touched on it, to be honest. But yeah, Sleep Talk gives you 2 quick claws essentially. Thing is, you can only use 2 moves that whole fight, because once you're done with that Sleep Talk BP, you have no moves left. Well, technically you can use the regular move too, actually, once you're out of Sleep Talk BP. So there you go. It's pretty great. And you can guarantee you pull the right move with Sleep Talk by deleting your other moves, right? So that's really, really strong. Honestly, pretty broken, but that's just, you know, I wanted to make Comatose fun to use and good to use, and otherwise it's pretty underwhelming, honestly, in game. So that's really fun. And then late game at level 55, you get Last Resort, which is an insane nuke. It's 180 power, as you can read, right? It says essentially you get 180 base power Last Resort, but you only have 2 uses of it. And unlike other moves, for example, with like Sleep Talk, Woodhammer, or whatever, I don't know, whatever shit, Body Slam, whatever, right? You have to keep in mind with those moves, you're only hitting. Sorry, you can use those twice in a row. So you can click Sleep Talk Woodhammer twice in a row, or Sleep Talk Double Edge twice in a row. You cannot click Sleep Talk Priority Last Resort twice in a row. It's like Gigaton Hammer. So you have to switch out and then switch back in. But still, 2 PP Last Resort, very, very, very strong. That's essentially like 2 quick claws as well, 180 base power quick claws, and you can run a choice band, so you can definitely like blow up anything that's neutral. Even like bulky things that are neutral might die, or at least be close to dying. So that's really good. You just have to keep in mind that you can't use that twice in a row, so you do have to pivot around. And without having an infinite use eject button like you do in Sweltering Sun, you do have to be smarter with your pivots to get it back on the field. But it does have the bulk to get back on the field, especially because if you're running Choice Band Last Resort, you probably don't need any attack EVs to kill things. So you can run like max HP, max defense to switch in easier, and then get another kill with Last Resort. So that's really fun. Definitely gives them a lot of fun kill opportunities for getting kills with Comatose or Unburden. Speaking of Unburden, other ways to abuse it outside of Quick Claw. So the second, I would say the best way to abuse Unburden outside of Quick Claw is Endure plus Attack Berry, Lychee Berry. In this case, it's just really reliable, really strong, because in game you don't have to worry about like dying from a sweep. You can just plan the turns out accordingly and know exactly how many turns you need, or how much HP you need, or whatever, right? So it's really, really useful to just click Endure, get your attack boost, and now you're +2 speed, +1 attack, and you're just going crazy. And then at the very end of the game, for the last 9 or so boss fights, you'll also have 200 power flail and reversal. So very, very, very strong. You can also try some belly drum stuff with your priority seed shot and befuddle and stuff, but I don't like belly drum very much, but it's definitely good. But yeah, I would say Unburden and Comatose are both incredible offensive tools. And then defensively, like I said, you've got cool stuff like Charm and Befriend. Befriend is special charm. You've got Branch Leech, which heals you a bunch. You've got Wish. You've got Yawn. You've got Slack Off. You've got Rapid Spin, even although that's not really the best defensive tool. Honestly, Rapid Spin is basically just Trailblaze for this purpose, for in-game purposes. Every once in a while, maybe the AI will use like T-Spikes, like Atticus, like the Poison Star boss guy might use T-Spikes. Maybe they'll like a occasional Toxic Debris Mon. Maybe one Stealth Rock boss, maybe one Sticky Web boss, but it's not going to be a very like widespread thing, right? Yeah, Dreamy Kiss is consistent sleep, always lasts for 2 turns. However, you have to run a wide lens to guarantee that you don't miss Dreamy Kiss, so that's pretty good though. Yeah, Acrobatics is obviously good. You've got tons and tons of cards removes that I'm not going to bother listing, but you can see them all on screen. You know, you've got, I mean, I guess I'll list some of them. You've got like Shadow Claw, Play Rough, Takedown, Brick Break, Iron Head, Stomach Tantrum, Thunder Punch, Shadow Punch, blah, 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 Superpower, all this good stuff. Speaking of Superpower, you can do Superpower Frenzy Plant or Giga Impact, all of which function like Draco Meteor now, physical Draco Meteor variants. And you can use that with Unburden as well, with White Herb. Although I would say the best ways still to abuse it are either Endure or Quick Claw. Those are the 2 best. But the other ways still can work depending on the situation. You can still switch it in on a Citrus Berry. You can run Key or Moringa Berry Unburden. That's really good. You can run, like, you know, switch on a physical move, get the Key Berry boost, and then get your Unburden immediately. So there's all sorts of fun ways you can experiment with Unburden and Comatose. It is kind of funny how similar Comatose and Unburden are. Like, they both kind of give you speed, but in different ways. So yeah, And the thing is, this item clause in this game, so you have to keep in mind, like, Comatose item clause essentially means that you get 2 quick claws and you can run a quick claw on somebody else too. So you can get like 3 quick claws for that whole boss fight, which is like super, super, super strong. Um, yeah. Lastly, weakness policy is also good with Unburden and Endure, because you have a decent amount of weaknesses. You can try to cheese those and get your +2/+2 and go crazy. So yeah, thanks for listening. Shout out to you if you made it to the end. Drop a comment if you did. I really do appreciate it. Let me know. And I'll be back for more videos coming up, y'all. Peace.